Been thinking about what ideas are worth pursuing, putting effort, sweat equity, and or financial investment. And I remember when I was younger that whenever I had an idea that I got really excited about or was like, "Ooh, that could be interesting to do or explore," I would almost immediately go onto, at the times, Google Domains still existed before they sold their, I guess, inventory, however you want to call it, their domains. They sold them from the Google Domains Registrar to Squarespace's registrar. So Google Domains, when I'd have an idea, I already had a few domains for the companies I was running, and then also another domain for my personal brand. Um, but I remember thinking that there was this urge to purchase the domain name when I had an idea for it. And I remember over time having compiled a not a small number of custom domains. So then I started thinking about, wait, should I be thinking about, instead of getting a separate domain for everything, should I just have one domain that's kind of my sandbox, my playground domain, maybe what a holding company might call as like the research division, the insert name labs, where a lot of testing ideas goes into. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do subdomains for each one. And then I did a little bit of subdomain setup for a couple of podcasts, both partner podcasts and then personal podcasts. But then once the domains left Google and went to Squarespace, I just remember thinking that it seemed to be not as user friendly anymore to set up different email addresses on the domain or the subdomain. Um, and then I didn't investigate further into Squarespace. So, um, but I wanted to bring it up of this idea of, when is an idea worth pursuing? Is it when it deserves if you really think it deserves a custom domain to go buy that, and then now the idea feels more real and you can kind of push it forward. Um, but I'm thinking, based on my experience of, I wasn't in the business of buying internet domains and then flipping them, given that is an industry that people do, kind of like flipping stocks or flipping houses. Um, I wasn't really interested in that. So I ended up letting a lot of the domains that were originally simply ideas, not not spun into businesses, thinking about how to kind of navigate. When you have an idea, how do you kind of measure or understand, or at least feel confident in your judgment call that it's an idea worth pursuing? So I think moving forward, there's probably more of an element of, get away from the custom domain part and think more about like a comprehensive, saying cloud infrastructure sounds kind of dated, because cloud was kind of more like a 2010s thing. Moving into 2020s now, mid 2020s, definitely more of like an AI. Um, so maybe thinking about more like an AI cloud infrastructure that could allow me to spin up ideas as projects, have an infrastructure in, for example, like a Microsoft SharePoint. Even though I do find that Google is more user friendly to use, from a lot of what I've read, it seems like Microsoft, I don't know if this is still 100% true or just more of um, a reputational thing, but Microsoft seems to really have the hold on like enterprise security, a lot of like baked in security tools to protect enterprise data. Whereas it seems like with Google, even though they come a long way, it seems like a lot of those tools are third party integrations, which if you don't set them up, then I guess you don't really have that data security. So thinking more on the Microsoft side, it's a tool that as a consumer, as a B2C consumer of Google and Microsoft tools, I prefer Google tools, especially with Google Docs, for example. Um, you know, it's easier to live edit a document in my experience on Google Docs, whereas if you do a Microsoft Word shared document, it seems like the shared versions don't sync up as quickly as you would like for quote unquote live editing, especially if you're working with remote partners, coworkers, things like that. So, yeah, I'm going with a little different format today. I think my last so many videos was really using my 30-minute limit here on Vimeo as really trying to use at least half or 2/3 of that. But I think this time I'm going to be kind of going with the shorter videos and kind of try to pump them out that way and see how that goes. So playing with a little different format today.